Welcome back to this week's edition of the Rangers Report. Of course, it's been a busy week here in W12 with the departure of Gareth Ainsworth and now the arrival of Martì Cifuentes. Me and Andy Sinton sit and discuss it all, as well as looking ahead to our trip to Rotherham United. This is the Rangers Report, brought to you in association with Westports Holdings. Sints, it's been a busy week here in W12. How have you found it?
Yeah, busy, eventful. Now you obviously see what's happened. But yeah, football's football, results speak, and club made a change.
If we go back to when we last spoke, that was before our trip to Huddersfield Town. It's been 3 games in between then, and obviously the manager's departing, and now the arrival of Martì Cifuentes. Take me through it. What's it been like?
For the 3 previous games, you'd have to say disappointing. You know, if you look at Huddersfield, disaster at the start, 2-0 in 40 minutes. Then we start to claw our way back into the game, get a goal back just before half-time. Bit unlucky not to get a second to get us something from the game, but you can't start games like that. Can't be 2-0 down at places like Huddersfield, no disrespect, after 14 minutes and have a mountain to climb to get something out of the game, so that was disappointing. Then we go to West Brom. Again, in the game probably changes on a moment, a minute of madness or naivety or whatever you want to say, you know, double whammy. We lose a player, give a penalty away, lose a player, and go a goal behind. And from then on, West Brom I thought were comfortable winners. Then we come against the big boys, Leicester in town on Saturday, best side in the league by a mile, in my opinion. Even though I thought on Saturday they were a little bit sloppy in their approach, but you could see quality right through their team, quality squad, the way they play. But again, we were right in the game until, again, I'm going to say it again, another moment of madness, naivety, stupidity, whatever you want to say, and that cost the team, I feel, not just on Saturday, but the game before. When
things aren't necessarily going your way, tied sort of against you, do them moments go against you? Do they become more of a regular occurrence?
No, I don't subscribe to that. I think if you're going to do silly things, you're giving people decisions. And that's where we need to be better. You know, it's whether it's a discipline on the pitch or not. But you know, if you look at the last couple of games, we're in both of those games, then we've undone ourselves, and that's something that needs to change, because we need all the squad fit for the majority of games, and through no fault of anyone's, we're missing 2 midfield players, or 2 key players, should I say, for vital games, in games coming up. So yeah.
And the game, it obviously sparked the end of Gareth Ainsworth's reign as head coach here at QPR. How would you reflect on his time here in W12?
Well, first of all, I think it's never nice when you see someone lose their job. Certainly at your own club, because when people usually lose their job, it means you're struggling. So there's a backstory to that. You know, Gareth, super guy, you know, got the job on merit for what he had done at Wycombe over a long period of time. Kept us up last year, not just himself, but you know, was brought in to make sure we stayed up. Mission accomplished. Then I think everyone was looking for this season, even though everyone knows it's going to be a difficult season, but could we improve? Could we kick on? Initial signs, a couple of games that we, you know, some really promising performances, didn't quite get the results we should have done. But in recent times, you know, what is it? I don't think we can hide behind it. Gareth wouldn't hide behind it. 2 points from 9 games, and it was probably inevitable what was going to happen.
So obviously the home form has been a big part of the last year or so, and obviously we've struggled at Loftus Road. Has that played a role in our struggles and Gareth Ainsworth's eventual departure?
Of course it has, yeah. One win in the calendar year, it's just not good enough. You know, you've got to win games at home in front of your own fans, in front of sponsors, in front of the vast majority who pay decent hard-earned money to come and cheer their team on, you know. So I think to be fair to the fans, I think they've been absolutely brilliant. They've stayed with the team for the majority of the time. But I don't know the number of games, but I do know it's 1 win in a year. Not good enough, and we have to start putting that right sooner rather than later.
One thing that was included in the announcement when Gareth was departing is that he'll always be welcome at W12, and that speaks volumes of what he means to the club and what we mean to him as well, doesn't it?
Don't think anyone can question how Gareth's regarded at the club, and as a player all those years ago, we just done an event recently where him and that team came back and still spoke about in glowing terms. Sometimes as a manager you you go to a club and it just doesn't work out for whatever reason, but QPR man, sure he said on numerous occasions he's tried his best. It just didn't happen for him, and we all know in the game that we love, managers are judged on their performances and results, and ultimately that cost him his job. But now we wish him well, and as I say, same with Richard Dobson. Good football people, but like football, you very quickly have to move on.
And we did just that, a new chapter in the QPR book. Martì Cifuentes, the arrival. What's your impression of him straight away?
Well, I think it's an exciting appointment. I think it's a bold appointment, but it's something I sort of welcome. Sometimes it's nice to see that young, modern, progressive coaches are given an opportunity rather than we stick into the managerial merry-go-round that we often see playing out in front of us. So yeah, Martì, I think a lot of people might not know a great deal about him, but I do know he's been on QPR's radar for a long, long time. Certainly in recent years. He's done the rounds. Young coach, started his coaching career very early. 4 or 5 different countries. So he's been and done all that.
What can you get from working in different countries? What ideas do you pick up?
Well, you pick up a lot of coaching things. You pick up different cultures from within countries, what different clubs want, what different fans want and demand, because ultimately that's what fans do. They want something and they demand you deliver, not necessarily in results, but in terms of the way you play, what each player has to give for that cause. So yeah, Martì, he's done that. He comes highly recommended. Progressive, modern, deep thinking, has a certain way of playing, but I'm sure as a modern coach he'll be adaptable to what we've got and certainly against opposition. So I think it's a really positive and exciting appointment, very similar to when we appointed Mick Beale, whenever that was. Not many people had heard of him to the degree, but was there for all to see, and we saw the impact Mick had when he came in, and let's hope Martì can do the same. But I would say, I'm not taking a little bit off him, but he's not a magician. We're going to a game on Saturday where he'll probably have had 2 sessions, 3 sessions with a group. He'll still be assessing, even though they've done that in recent days and certainly weeks, and I'm sure when he was in the frame a while back, he's kept tabs on the club, so he won't be coming in completely cold. But as I say, I think it's a time for everyone at the club, in the building and outside in our fan bases. We know where we are. We know we're struggling at this moment in time. We know it's going to be tough, but we have to come together. We have to unite. We have to get right behind Martì and his staff, and we have to start producing and getting results, starting very, very quickly.
What would he be saying to the players when he walks into the dressing room for the first time?
Well, first of all, I think he's got to get those players believing in themselves again. Now, you might say, well, how's he going to do that with the run that we're on? That can be difficult, but I think, he'll be reminding them that there's quite a few of the players were in a team a year ago that was riding high at the top of the league, playing some really, really good football, exciting the crowd, scoring goals. So I think that's what he'll be reminding the players first of all. Then it's his job to get a cohesive unit, get some of those players that were and probably still are, if they can get going again, highly sought after players, back playing somewhere near where we know they can and have done, and I'm sure we'll do again. And I'm sure you'll just say, it's easy to say when you're on a poor run, go and play with some freedom, go and express yourself, but he'll have a set way of playing where people will have to fit into that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, it's almost like a new chapter of the book, a new page has been turned. as I've already said, not magician. It's not going to happen overnight. But let's hope this can be a long-term appointment for the club where we sit here in a year or two's time and go, you know what, this is QPR, this is identity, this is the way we want to play, this is what we want to be associated with, and so yeah, let's get behind him.
Like many QPR fans, I'm sure, Monday night was sat looking at Hammarby games, looking at clips of his team, how they've played. What sort of philosophy, style are you sort of expecting to see from him?
Well, from what I know, I've already said he's flexible, he's adaptable, but he will have his chosen way of playing, which I think if you're looking at formations, and I don't place a massive emphasis on formations. I think it's about the formation gives you a foundation to go and play from. Once you've done that, it's then up to the players to implement that. I think he'll be flexible. I think there'll be rotation. I think we'll have a team who eventually will become dynamic, possession-based. But yeah, it's about how he manages the squad, how he gets them to perform to where he wants them to and where we want them to. And we know they can, because they have done in the past. But yeah, his philosophy, and as I say, I've already said, highly rated, has been on the radar here at Rangers for quite a while. He's now in the building, and it's a time to unite, get behind him, and give him all the support we possibly can.
We caught up with Martì with his first interview here at the club, and he spoke about his philosophy, what he's going to bring to QPR.
You've said in the past that whether you coach in Spain, Sweden, Norway, your football philosophy remains the same. What is that philosophy?
I want to coach teams that are funny to watch for the fans, that are teams that can compete really well, that can get points even on the bad days, but at the same time that our supporters, our fans can feel proud when they go back home. I do like to be dominant, and I do think that to be dominant in a football game, you can do it in different ways, but mostly by having the ball and then attacking. I'm not a coach that would like to just, after scoring one goal, ask the lads to just defend and be low and wait for a counter. I would prefer to be proactive, to try to regain the ball high, to create as many chances as we can. We cannot control, no coach in the world, no manager in the world can control how many goals your team will score. But I do think that it's about scoring as many goal chances as you can and concede the less you can. This is my ultimate target as a coach. And at the end of the day, I always say the same. I'm the one that's going to be probably watching the team the most, all the practices, all the games. I want to have fun while watching them. I want to enjoy with the quality players I'm sure we have here. I want to enjoy when I will watch them playing. So that will be definitely something that I will be looking forward.
So since that was Martì speaking in his first week here at QPR, Rotherham away on Saturday. It's not been a very pleasant trip in the last few years, has it?
Yeah, last 4 visits, I think we've got beat 3 times and drawn 1, but that was then, this is now. Can't look at statistics, you can't look at previous visits. We go there on Saturday on a poor run, but with a new head coach in charge. I'm excited already to see, first of all, what team will go out. I know we've got injuries, and I know we've got suspensions, so we're not blessed with bundles of personnel to change it. But he'll have done his 3 sort of sessions leading up to that. And we go there, we know the importance of the game. Let's not just say it's another game, etc., etc. The importance of the game is staring everyone in the face. They're above us, 1 point, 1 place. We're a little bit adrift. Still plenty of time, plenty of games, but we have to start putting in performances, because usually through your performance you get the result. And it tends to go hand in hand, unless you're unlucky or very lucky, whichever way you want to do. You get your performance right, you give yourself a great chance of getting results. And I say getting results, I mean winning games, which is what we need. It's a massive game, big game, one to look forward to. It's not one to shy away from. I hope the players, sometimes you get a bounce when a new manager or a coach comes into the building. Let's hope we can do that. Let's get up to Rotherham. We're taking a few to watch us. Let's give them a performance that we can be proud of, and let's hope we come away with a result that we desperately need.
You mentioned the fans once again. They'll be in their numbers on the trip up to Rotherham. Just sort of mention for them and their support, even though results necessarily hasn't gone our way.
Fans have been absolutely superb home and away. Stood by the team, got behind the team. They know the difficulties, but I want to try and get away from the difficulties. We know where we are. We know who we are. We know what we have to do. Let's start attacking games. Let's start approaching games together with a bit of where we look forward to them and a bit of belief. And sometimes when you're on a losing run, you don't get belief. That comes from winning games. But you know what? Let's look at the Rotherham game as a fresh start. Why can't we go there and win? I can't think of any reason that we can't go there and win. Players have to perform. It's almost like we pressed the reset button once again. Now's the time to start performing. Now's the time to start getting results. Now's the time to start getting up that table.
If you're a player sat on that coach going up to Yorkshire, what are you thinking? Is it, if you're someone that's necessarily not been involved, is it, this is my chance to now get back in the team? If you're someone that's been a constant, I've got to keep going and show him what I'm
every
about.
time a manager leaves the club, there'll be players who are hugely disappointed. There'll be players who, dare I say it, are, okay, right, I wasn't being used, maybe there, but sometimes players pick themselves. You might go, well, what are you talking about there? Players pick themselves by what they do in training, how they show the manager what they can do within how they're going to set up. Once they're picked, they have to go and perform. Players, media don't make a player play well. Agents don't make players play well. Coach sets them up, gives them a foundation to go and perform from. And once they cross the white line, it's up to the players. Let's stop hiding behind excuses if we have, decisions, this, that, and the other. You know what? Let's start again. We're in a 32-game season now, because that's what it is. We play 14 games, 32-game season, to make sure we win as many games as we possibly can and see where that takes us.
After Rotherham, Bristol City at home.
Yep.
Marty's first game in W12. How do we approach this? Do we want the atmosphere back? We've mentioned his philosophy, his free-flowing football. Will that naturally get fans excited again, back off their seats?
I've already said that I think the fans have been great and have got behind the team. I think in recent games, if I can say it, I think there was probably a resignation that, we were going into games a bit flat in and around the club and on the fan base, that, we might not get something from the game. Well, that might change. But the atmosphere and the terraces will be dictated by what the fans see on the pitch. And it's a two-way street. We're all in it together. Players will get the fans going and the fans can get the players going. So, but first and foremost, I've been a player. I've also been a manager, but I've been a player. It's up to the players who are selected, who are pulling on the blue and white hoops, who are representing our club, to go and perform to somewhere where we know they can have done before and will do again.
And then after that, we have the international break, and that'll be a real chance for Martì to get out on the grass and really bring across his ideas and get everyone on the same page.
I think it's a really important break. I know some players come and go during that break, so it's a little bit disjointed, but that will give the new head coach Martì time to really bed in his ideas and philosophy and what he wants from individuals and collectively as units and as a team. And that will be used really, really wisely. But yeah, as I say, I think you can probably tell in my voice, I'm excited with the appointment. We wish him well. I'll say it again, it's time for everyone on and off the pitch to get behind the head coach. We're in this together, and let's crack on.
I think that's the perfect way to wrap this week's edition up. Thank you as always, Sints, and I'll see you at Rotherham. Have a safe journey up.
Look forward to it.
See you soon, and come on you Oz.